Hi, this is Curt, and welcome to another edition of Fire Law Roundup.
Complaint in California State Court, a battalion chief from Sacramento, so city of Sacramento, claiming race discrimination and retaliation. And it looks like from the face, obviously it's the complaint, so it's the allegations that the chief is making at this point. It looks as if almost a situation where the chief was consistently turned down for promotion, couldn't make it to the higher, deputy chief type of a position, up from the BC position to a higher ranking position. And it looks as if his claims, at least he's saying that there was, he had at least, I don't know if he had testified or if he had supported a victim in the past that was alleging discrimination.
Yeah, interesting. There's actually two cases that one was a white firefighter who was, according to the complaint, was falsely or inappropriately accused of doing something wrong, and he testified in favor of that firefighter. I'm not sure why that would have gotten him in trouble. That wasn't clear from the complaint, but at any rate, he says that he testified in support, and that sort of brought him the ire of his bosses. And then there was another situation where a female, apparently a captain, and again, kind of hard to understand from the complaint, but a captain kicked the turnout gear of a female firefighter, and I forget the term, but something like in a sexually offensive way or whatever. And I'm not sure how you kick turnout gear in a, maybe the motivation was gender based, but at any rate, he escalated that complaint. The complaint was brought to him as a battalion chief, and apparently the department supervisors, according to the complaint again, sort of resented the fact that he did that. And then he also said that one of his superiors in the office, referred to him as a cancer in the department. And apparently that got back to him. I don't think they referred to him directly as that, but they made that comment. And so the allegation here is that he's the victim of race discrimination, that he was passed over twice for promotion to deputy chief, where according to him he was more qualified than the folks, the Caucasians that were promoted.
One thing I thought was interesting, and I want to get your take on this, it was the case was filed. Typically, your discrimination lawsuits are going to be filed in federal court. Right. Here, it was filed in state court, and it was basically it's citing the California government code, which we both know California has some pretty stringent labor-related, labor type laws on the books. Do you have any indicate why would they do that? Do you think?
Well, there's a strategic reason. Some attorneys like you and I mean, I'm more comfortable in state court. I've been to federal court. It's not where I would choose to go. Some attorneys would prefer to stay in state court. Some attorneys would prefer to go to federal court. But if you make a claim in state court and you include any federal allegations in it, the other side then can remove it to federal court. And so I think that by staying with just the state law claims, because race discrimination and gender discrimination, all of those are going to violate both state and federal law. So if you file a lawsuit strictly under state law, you're probably going to stay in state court. And there may be some favorable interpretations under state law. I know New York and California kind of have a reputation on sexual harassment in particular of going beyond what protections the federal law has. So there may be there's no doubt strategic reasons why they did that.
Yeah,
right? We always get accused. It's funny. We always get accused as attorneys of shotgun what do you call it? Complaint drafting. Right. And going after everything. So you'd include your state law and your federal law.
Yeah.
In real life, I don't think that happens all that often. Shotgun pleading, that's what they call it. Shotgun pleading. And my sense is the attorney here definitely wants to keep it in state court. There's no other reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
But interesting case. We'll see it. I know there was some media attention surrounding this case, and apparently there have been a couple of others with allegations. This one I really thought was kind of light in terms of the allegations. I don't know what your sense was.
No, it was. I agree. And I think one thing, when I was reading the complaint last night, I was going through the complaint, and obviously we'll see if maybe, and I don't know if this is if maybe the hurdle, maybe in the state court, there's a little bit of a different analysis when you get that summary judgment stage, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And that's obviously, I'm not familiar with California, law, but that could be a possibility too, I suppose.
Yeah. And, some attorneys tend to load up factual allegations in their complaint, and some attorneys don't. And it could very well be that the attorneys here opted not to include all of the individual factual allegations. But I know if you compare this complaint to several of the others that we have had, through the blog, you'll see that many of them have a much more detailed and many more factual allegations than what we see in this one. So we'll see. That was interesting too, that they're going after the department for failing to take adequate precautions in advance of this, such as training and supervising the officers to make sure that they're complying with the law. Again, I'm not familiar with the particular California government code that's cited here, but I do know when it comes to gender discrimination, California and New York, have those additional requirements. I know New York has an annual requirement. I'm pretty sure California does too. You've got to do annual sexual harassment training and so on. It may extend to other types of diversity type training as well. And so it could be that, embedded in the allegations there are some things that would be unique in California.
Yeah.
So.